Welcome, you guys. My name is Rafiq Wayani, for those of you that don't know me. I'm very glad you're here. I will be discussing how you can start your career in information technology. I'm going to be providing you with a lot of very useful information. I'm going to be providing you with information that simply bypasses a lot of the fluff, for lack of a better word, that you may have heard elsewhere. I'm cutting through all of the clutter, and I'm going to show you as best as I can how you can get going in IT career. I decided to do this and prepare for this because almost 30 years ago, when I was starting my IT career, I wished I had someone like me to help me out so that I could have gotten going and not made the mistakes over the course of my career that I have. So the first question is, we get right into it, where do you start? Well, let me tell you something right off the bat. You are in a great time to enter the IT industry. The reason for that is it does not matter what your background is or what your passion is. There is a need for you in IT. If you're a musician, you can work within IT. Obviously, I don't have to tell you about that. If you're a graphic artist, you can work in IT. If you are a web application developer, you can work in IT. If you are a network admin, if you are it doesn't matter what your background is. If you're in security, if you're very in tune to social media, if you name it, there's a place for you here. The next thing people ask is, well, what do you expect? You can expect sheer joy. And I don't know how else to say that other than to be corny about it. As time progresses, if you keep your discipline, if you keep your focus on your particular area of expertise within IT, you're going to have a lot of fun, and you will, in so many words, conquer your own small universe. And in IT, you can leverage your experience. You can leverage your background in the manufacturing industry, in the educational industry, in the medical industry, in the security environment. Doesn't matter what you have done in your life, in automotive, in construction, it really doesn't matter. In landscaping, you can leverage that experience to learn and merge with IT, within IT. So you can definitely leverage your experience to help you along. So here I am getting into it. You immediately ask, no, really, where do you begin? And for that, I'm here to tell you, the very first thing you want to do is you want to attain the CompTIA Strata IT Fundamentals certification. So you think to yourself, well, wait a minute, I'm entering a career in IT, but I'm not an IT idiot or a moron. I do understand how computers work. I'm here to tell you, you may think you understand how machines work, but it's very possible that you don't, and I can use a very, very simple example. Just because you've been driving a car for the past 2-3 decades, does that make you a professional driver? Just because you have been eating at restaurants and you've been eating Italian or Chinese or Indian food at restaurants for several decades does not mean you know how to cook it or know what's in it. And here, IT, it's no different. Just because you use a machine, just because you're using iTunes and iPod and you use computers and email and whatnot, does not make you an expert, does not really help you understand what's actually going on. Learning the basics of what's happening behind the scenes is very, very critical. And CompTIA Strata certification is one that will help you in that path. So this is a start. Then, okay, what do you do next? This is another interesting thing. Many people that I work with day in and day out and have been for quite some time, they're tied to a particular profession. They're tied to their discipline. Tied, very, very tied to what they do. If I ask someone who is working in the IT discipline and works with mobile applications and mobile application development, if I ask them about something else that is related, something they don't know, like networking, their response is just, I don't know. I don't know about that. That's not something I do. You know, as time progresses, I am actually beginning to get very, very tired of listening to people with that attitude of, I don't know, that's not something I do, it's not my problem, it's not my job, that's not what I do. I develop mobile applications and that's it. Don't be one of those people. Try not to be one of those people. Begin your career properly. Take the basics. Take the A+, Network+, Storage+, Cloud+ certifications, even if that is not going to be your end career choice. You want the foundational things. It's impossible to work within IT today and not be overwhelmed with what's going on. Have you ever heard someone talk about whatever they're doing within IT? And then they mention, and you're able to keep up or follow along with what they're saying, and all of a sudden they mention a few acronyms. You're lost. You're immediately lost. And you're not in a position to be able to ask someone because they're your director, because they're your boss, because they're your superior, because they are your colleague, and you're not able to say, what did you just say? I've never heard of that. What is that? Try not to be in those shoes. And the way you won't be in those shoes is by learning the environment in your surroundings. So in addition to going about learning A+, Network+, Storage+, and Cloud+, which gives you a basic foundation for your career in IT, doesn't matter what you do, you're going to encounter the topics covered in these courses everywhere. In addition to that, you may want to take a course in Security+, Server+, and Mobility+. Now you're going to think to yourself, wait a minute, this is one, which is Strata Fundamentals, 2, 3, 4, 5, A+, Network+, Storage+, and Cloud+, 6, 7, 8, Security+, Server+, Mobility+. Wait a minute. So you're going to think to yourself, Rafiq, you're telling me to take 8 courses before I even begin my career? Really? Yeah, the answer is yes. Yes. The answer is yes. And I'm not really saying that you take these courses back to back to back to back to back to flood your brain with information that you really can't process as fast as it's been given to you. What I am saying is make it a point. Make it part of your plan to take these courses over the course of perhaps the first year in technology while you're looking for work. If you are in technology right now in any way, shape, or form, and you don't have the information that is covered in this course or any of these courses, find a way, and I'm one of them. Find a way to acquire this information and learn the information presented in these courses, because it's only going to help you in ways you cannot even imagine. Immediate question you have next. So Rafiq, that's it? CompTIA courses? That's it? No, that's not it. It's the beginning. The reason I mention CompTIA courses, is because they offer a very rich, industry-recognized course content. It is very easy to digest information. CompTIA certifications are very easy to attain in the big scheme of things. There are some very complex certifications and some very complex courses that you're going to run across. CompTIA isn't one of them. As time progresses and as you learn and muddle through all of the information that is being thrown at you, going through that channel of CompTIA certifications in the beginning will help guide your career. So after these basics of CompTIA are covered, then what? You know what? There are a few guidelines you want to follow that I don't know why, but they don't exist anywhere in writing. I don't understand. For all Microsoft tracks, if you want to pursue a career in any Microsoft technology, whether it's database or network or development or project management, it really doesn't matter. You want to take a course on Microsoft PowerShell. Take a course on Microsoft PowerShell. You cannot escape it and still succeed. For all networking tracks, does not matter if you're trying to achieve networking knowledge in, cabling. It doesn't matter. Take the CCNA certification and pass those tests, very least. And I cannot stress this enough, guys. Cross-train. Cross-train. If you're planning on becoming a network administrator, learn about the basics of application development. You don't have to be an expert, but at least understand what's involved at some level. Conversely, if you're planning on becoming an application developer, learn about the basics of networks. CompTIA courses, Network Plus will offer that. Security Plus will offer that. Strata IT Fundamentals will give you that framework. Many people go off into achieving or trying to achieve Microsoft certifications and Oracle certifications and Java certifications and the database tracks and networking tracks and Cisco tracks, and they get so involved in those certs, they forget the fact that they have no foundation. There's no framework, no fundamentals. They have not learned A, B, C, D, and they're trying to not only form sentences, but write entire books in their mind. You simply cannot do it. You need the fundamentals. As a matter of fact, if you don't have the fundamentals if you don't have the fundamentals that are created for you in a structured format by a proper course content, you are going to miss out, and you're going to have holes in knowledge that you will not be able to fulfill as time progresses. As a matter of fact, as time progresses, the hole's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and as time progresses, you're just going to become more and more lost. So learn what's involved and cross-train as best as you can. And everyone has to attain knowledge of data file formats. This isn't written anywhere either. I don't get it. Markup languages, internal embedded systems, scripting languages that are used everywhere within the IT discipline. Files and file extensions such as XML and MOF and config files, Windows registry, popular backup formats, HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, and many, many, many others. Try to learn a little bit, at least in concept. If that is not your profession, it's okay. Learn it in concept so you know what it is. When somebody says MOF this, or XML that, or HTML5 that, or Windows registry this, or DNS this, or whatever the case is, or IP this, or IPv6 that, or router this, at least you have some framework to work off of so that you can understand what they're saying and what they're trying to convey to you. You will appear and be monumentally more informed IT professional as a result of it, and your colleagues, your superiors, and your employer is going to really appreciate that. Don't be the person that says it's not my job. Those days are gone. Learn as many IT acronyms and what they mean as possible, and continue to learn the terms as they are created due to technological advancements. One of the greatest things about IT that it is not a stagnant career. It's not stagnant. Every month something changes. I guarantee you, no matter how much you think you know, you don't nearly know enough. That is something that I have found out as time has progressed. Every week, every month, in the information that I accumulate, I simply find that I feel like an idiot. The more I learn, the dumber I feel. I'm not sure how many of you agree with me, but that is my case. I try to learn as much as I can, and of course, having the background that I do, I'm able to learn quicker, but nonetheless, my education never stops. Also, try not to be the jack of all trades and master of none. That's going to hurt you. That's going to hurt your career growth instead of expedite it. Some people are trying to learn everything all at once. That's silly, man. That's silly. That's professional suicide. Know one particular technology extremely, extremely well. I cannot stress that enough. If you are a mobile application developer, a web application developer, learn everything around that technology. Learn the networking components, the web server components, the storage components, the security components, even the cabling components, the distributed networking components, virtualization components, stuff that surrounds mobile networks. that surrounds web application development is endless. Don't just say, I'm an iPhone developer. That's not going to help you succeed in the long run. Maybe it's okay in the short run, but in the long run, you want to, you want to take in and learn as much as you can, not as fast as you can. You do it over time. You learn something, you practice it, you work with it, you make sure you understand it, and if you don't understand it, by God, go through the course of the material or the content or read about it again so that you have a very clear understanding of how this works. Come to me. That's why I am here. There's nobody like this that exists that will explain these things to you. I really don't know why. When career counselors and of course on Microsoft's website, on Oracle's website, on Apple's website, there's nothing that lays out what to do if you're starting a career in IT. And I hate to say this, many institutions are really after your money. That's not a secret, is it? So I'm trying to cut through that mess. I have also put together some career spotlights. I have put together specific job titles and salaries so that you understand where things lie. After you put together your initial investment of resources, both financial and in time, you need to understand that learning that will help guide you in some of these careers. For example, Microsoft Active Directory Administrator. The median income for Active Directory admin today in the U.S. is around $76,000. Now, I have gathered this information as of yesterday off of many different sites, Monster and Dice and general salary websites out there. And I have gathered this information up from different locations, and the median income is not in the low range, is not in the high range. Every single profession that I'm going to mention here, that I'm about to mention here, all have six-figure salary, major six-figure salary potentials. And some of the people that reported their salaries inside of those surveys, their salaries are well into the six figures. Couple $100,000 and such if they have received and achieved expertise in what they do. Linux systems admin. Linux systems administrator salary is around $68,000. Okay? Now the difference between a Windows Active Directory admin and a Linux admin is really something interesting. People will say, well, are you Microsoft or are you Linux? I'm here to tell you something. It's very difficult in a large organization to find only one technology. It's very possible to have a technology that dominates that organization, like Microsoft, but you're going to be hard-pressed to find a large organization that doesn't have Linux somewhere. And if they are not a Microsoft shop, it is going to be hard for you to find in that organization that Microsoft technologies don't exist somewhere. It's in your best interest to learn both as much as you can if administration and system admin is really your path. Messaging administrator. Messaging is really dealing with mail, email, but not just email. It's now turned into voicemail, turned into text messaging, turned into social media and Twitter, and messaging involves really everything. Messaging admin in the U.S. today, the median income is around $70,000. Network security. Well, I don't have to tell you for everything that you've heard, and maybe some people you know already. Security administration is really, really growing rapidly. You are able to tap into the security market and do security administration and attain security certifications in many disciplines. Median income for network security administrator is around $87,000. Cloud admin. What the hell is cloud? You use it all the time. Google Docs is cloud that allows you to put your documents up there and be able to look at it via the web. And you don't have to save anything. You don't have to install anything. You can use everything in the cloud via the web. Median income for a cloud admin is around $94,000. Virtualization administrator. This was a change in paradigm in the information technology discipline. 12 years ago, virtualization became very, very prominent. If you are pursuing and thinking about pursuing a career in virtualization, median income right now is around $70K. Storage admin. This is something that has spawned greatly over the past 10 years. Storage area networks and storage administration has grown dramatically because of the need of large amounts of storage, distributed storage, data centers that exist everywhere. Organizations, large organizations such as Facebook and Amazon and Google, and the list goes on, that want to have their data protected and want to be dynamic in their ability to be able to produce additional storage is basically endless. Storage admin, median income in the U.S. is around $102,000 today. Database administration, whether you're going to Oracle or using SQL Server, database administration, these are the two big dogs, if you will. They compete side by side. Median income in the U.S. for Oracle DBA, Oracle Database Administrator, is really around 92 grand. And for SQL Server admin is at least in the six figures. Business intelligence. These are people that are able to take analytical information and surmise the information in form of graphs and charts and matrices and such, and make sense of the information to help an organization decide which products to keep, which products to get rid of, which services to get rid of, which services to keep, based on what the numbers are telling them. Median income for a BI developer is around 80,000. Software developer, well, there's no secret there. If you are an application developer, your median income is going to be around 92 grand, and you're going to be, well, you're going to be never jobless. You will always have income. As a matter of fact, I read a study not too long ago. I wonder how valid it is today, but I read a study not too long ago that there were 5 developer jobs for every one position. I mean, there were 5, there were 5 developer jobs for every one developer. Sorry. For every one developer, they had 5 jobs available at any given time. So developer positions will never dissipate. Never, ever dissipate. Median income is around $92,000. Mobile developer. These are people that are developing applications on iPhones and iPads and Windows phones and Droids and Google phones and such. Mobile development and application developer, median income is around $99,000. Network architect, someone that understands the large networks, someone that understands how everything fits together, how everything works together, how well things perform, how to mitigate risk, how to increase bandwidth, how to join and make organizations communicate with each other. Network architect makes around 112 grand. Data architect is responsible, this is the person that's responsible for understanding data associated with a given organization. They understand the business. They understand how, if they're in the business of manufacturing or airline or distribution or education, they understand the business really well. They understand the data within the business really well. They design and architect data day in and day out to make certain that performance requirements, distribution requirements, and such is met. Data architect makes around $102,000. SharePoint, there isn't a single environment like this today. SharePoint is a single most powerful collaboration suite available anywhere. SharePoint began inside of IT in 2000, and it has not let up ever since. The latest version of SharePoint is version 2013. SharePoint admins make around 78,000, and SharePoint developers make around 91,000. This is something that is not going away. If you understand intranets, if you like collaboration, if you like to be able to create internal sites and internal within the organization secure sites, and you want to have your team communicate with each other, and you want to be able to create collaboration, and you want to learn about collaboration engines, SharePoint is probably the path for you. From a networking perspective, a Cisco network engineer makes around 94 grand. That's just someone that understands how things work behind the scenes, the switching and the routers, and how things work in the cloud, how things are connected, how things communicate, how people connect. Cisco engineers make around 94 grand. The certifications in the CompTIA track. CompTIA, by the way, is an organization that has since been purchased by Cisco. Take a look at the CompTIA certification track. Take a look at the Microsoft certification track, from Microsoft Certified Solution Developer, which develops applications, to engineer, to an office specialist. Take a look at the Cisco certification tracks. Very, very important, so you can see how things work and how things are laid out. Take a look at the Oracle database certification track. Learn how you can finagle and manage your environment around it. I'm here to tell you that keep everything in mind. You are never, ever, ever going to learn everything, but your discipline, your expertise, whatever you decide to do, learn as much about what surrounds what you're doing, as much about what surrounds what you're doing. You're never going to be able to escape learning about storage, even if you don't do it. You're never going to be able to escape learning about, how networks work or how development works. So how do you choose a path? That is another thing somebody always asks me, and I did just see Celeste ask me that. How do you choose a path? Well, choosing a path is actually rather simple. Think about it for a minute. Do you like to sit down and code and design and plan and manage? Is that what you do? Or would you rather run around and communicate with people a lot? Do you like communicating with end users? Are you more of a person who is technical and engineering in nature? If you are more of a people person, you want to be close to the end users. If that's the case, perhaps SharePoint is your thing. Perhaps mobile development is your thing. Okay? If you want to communicate more with engineers, maybe the back-end stuff, like database administration, like web administration or storage admin. Maybe that's your thing because you are in tune with the engineering aspects of what's going to be done. Try to understand your personality. And your personality, I will tell you, inside of the IT environment, you'll be able to fit and merge your personality anywhere. Anywhere. Don't try to look to see what IT can do for you. Determine what you can do for IT. Figure out what your personality is. Are you the type that likes to plan and document and design? Are you the type that likes the intricacies and are detail-oriented, that likes to code, that likes to learn new languages? When you see a scripting language, when you open up a website, do you take a look at the source code associated with a website? Is that what you do? You like to break things apart, put them back together, whether it is in code, whether it is physically? Is that something you like? Maybe you belong in development. Maybe you belong in networking administration. Do you like communicating with end users more? If that's the case, maybe you are more in tune to doing things that work for the end users. Office specialist. Maybe you want to work inside of the environment that provides cloud technologies to the end user. Maybe you want to serve as a liaison to the engineer. Maybe you want to be in project management because management is your thing, and you want to, you're very much a overview, 10,000 feet bird's eye view person. Maybe you understand how everything works really well, and you don't want to be involved in the nitty-gritty details. Maybe you're destined to become an architect at the very end, whether it's a data architect, a network architect. It doesn't matter. I will tell you that start somewhere. And one of the things that I told you very early on, right here, taking a course in IT fundamentals and then moving on the CompTIA tracks, these 8 courses that I told you about, start there. And you know what's going to happen when you start there? When you start there, you will discover what you like. Don't try to sit there and figure out, I'm going to get started as soon as I figure out what I want to do. That day will never come. That day will never come because that's a moving target. You're going to like something one day and not like it another day. Start something immediately. Don't wait. Start something immediately. Start a career in IT. And if you don't know anything, it's okay. If you have not had any professional training, it's okay. There are plenty of places like myself that are here to help you. Try to learn what you're trying to do. See where you fit into the picture. Decide early on what you're going to be, what you're going to specialize in, what you're going to be an expert in, what you're more in tune for because of your background, because your background is in medicine, because you know a lot about financial industries, because you know a lot about the airline industry, or because you know a lot about homes and houses and real estate, or maybe you know a lot about the law. You know, determine what your background is. Leverage that background to help you in your experience in IT, to help you with your path in IT, and learn what you're able to basically leverage. Your IT experience combined with your background in your profession and whatever you've been doing and whatever you've studied for some time is going to help you get further faster. It's going to help you get further faster because you'll be able to understand not just how to code applications for the legal world or for the construction industry. You understand the construction industry, and as a result, you are not only valuable to the organization that you are writing that mobile app for, but you're very, very valuable and invaluable to the organization because you know the trade. Very important. I can't tell you the number of times people that are working in technology and they just write code and they don't understand an ounce of how the business works. That completely works against them. Try not to be the person that says, I don't know, it's not my job, I'm not sure. Find out, learn, ask questions, and expand your knowledge. And you'll realize the more you learn, the more you're going to want to learn, and the more proficient you're going to get. I realize that at first your path is going to be a little bit hazy, a little bit weird, a little bit confusing, but that's okay. You're going to get familiar with it very, very soon. Just get started. Go out and get the IT fundamentals. Go ahead and take the A+, Network Plus, Storage Plus, Cloud Plus, Security, Server, and Mobility Plus, and then get going. You'll be able to decide as you're taking these courses, you'll be able to say, I think I belong in mobile computing. I belong in security. I belong in network administration. I belong somewhere inside of the cloud environment or the storage environment. You'll be able to determine that within 6-8 months. Trust me. You know yourself. You know your background. And taking these basic courses and truly thinking about what's happening, and if it does float your boat, for lack of a better word, you are going to learn how to do this. You're going to learn it faster and better than anybody. The only way you won't succeed is if you quit. Don't quit. Start and keep at it.